Hello and welcome to the Board of Directors meeting for Pernod Ricard in Thailand. Thank you for coming today, and thank you to everyone else around the table. Thanks for showing up. So, first of all, key strategic challenges we're facing right now. Just want to touch upon two. First of all, we want to maintain and grow our market share in the premium and super premium segments in Thailand for the imported Scotch whisky. We want to make sure we don't cannibalize our own products. It's a big issue if we introduce something new. Second, the Thai government has introduced new regulations and taxes which are actually squeezing the middle market, and we need to try to find a way to deal with this because that's what we are. So those are the strategic challenges. In terms of tensions that are coming out of this, first one, really quickly, I came up with it, I kind of like it. It's called Style Over Substance. So it has to do with the fact that basically in Thailand the consumers purchase Scotch based on the perception rather than the actual taste. So the style of it is really more important than the substance of what the actual drink tastes like. Something that's considered. Another tension is actually the tension between the government and the beverage sellers, including us. They've increased taxes on us, which is squeezing us out. And this has actually forced consumers to start purchasing more local, regionally produced products, which isn't helping us out as much. This has disproportionately hurt us, and it's one of the reasons why we want to become more premium as well. Finally, our relationship with Diageo is a tension in and of itself. Typically, we've dominated different segments. We've been a bit lower with 100 Piper Standard, dominating the standard market, and they've dominated elsewhere in the prestige and super prestige market segments with Johnnie Walker. We've competed with them, with Ballantine's and Chivas, but we've never achieved really anything close to their market share that they have right now. So this is another tension we have to consider. So, Amish, can you give us just a brief rundown on what external consultants' perspective would be on this?
Yeah, definitely. So I've conducted a Porters by Forces analysis, and
I think we're gonna hold off on that for now. Maybe we'll address it later.
Okay, sure.
Potentially. No more Porters by Forces. No way. Why do we hire this guy? Antonia, can you just give us a rundown of the sales figures from last month?
Yep, sure thing. So here are the sales for Ballantyne and Chivas Regal. As we can see, Ballantyne is performing particularly poorly compared to Chivas Regal. This can be seen from their sales in this figure and its minimal market share in Thailand.
Hang on a minute, how long has Ballantyne been performing this badly, and exactly why? Is it the market pressures or the general macro environment?
Okay, so for quite some time actually, and there are a range of factors affecting our business environment, and we haven't seen much luck in this. I mean, we still see generally low demand in the back of the Asian economic crisis in 1998. This has adversely affected consumer spending, leading to low domestic demand. The decrease in demand is threatening the industry as liquor is seen as a luxury product, and in particular whisky is faced with price elasticity compared to most other alcoholic beverages, so rely on a strong economy. Some of the more political aspects are beneficial. So to begin with, we're seeing new investment-friendly policies coming in from the government, which allow us to establish strategic alliances and partnerships in the future. However, as I'm sure you're all aware, the military junta has caused quite a lot of political instability and uncertainty. This could have negative effects on economic growth and our sales. Also, the strict regulation around marketing has halted some of our campaigns, which is also reflected in our sales, and the government is looking to introduce new protectionist tax increases. Although this hasn't impacted our sales figures up until now, it's likely to put further pressure on growth in the medium and premium whisky segment.
I just wanted to add that whisky is considered as a prestige purchase, and brand image drives consumption more than the flavor preferences.
Yeah.
So that could potentially have an impact on our sales figures too. And also, as a heads up, the government is concerned with the public health related to alcohol, so we need to be aware that there might be new taxes to tackle this.
Alright, thanks guys for that. Can we get more of a micro-analysis now?
Yeah, sure. New protectionist tax that you mentioned and the social image factors, they both favour the high end of the market, and additionally the economic downturn isn't going to have affected the high income earners as much. They're still going to have a lot of disposable income to spend on the premium side of things.
That's good for us though with the premiumisation aspect, isn't it?
Absolutely, that matches our strategy really well. So we should be in good shape targeting the higher end of the market.
Okay, so Lewis mentioned the premiumisation strategy, but I don't really know what he means by this. Where can we go forward from that? It's quite vague, isn't it?
Also, let's not forget that we produce many different types of alcohol, and especially the success of Absolut Vodka in Thailand can't be overlooked. We also have the capability to produce single malt whiskey, which we've not yet introduced, but could potentially. Additionally, we have really good distribution networks, but most of that is Western based. So in Thailand, we don't own our own distribution as much. And there could be an issue of value migration there, which we could look into, perhaps with a strategic alliance or whatever. But finally, as we're very decentralised, we've got a lot of autonomy from head office here in Thailand, so we can implement strategies as we please to fit the rather unique Thai environment. So overall, we should be fairly well situated to deal with the macro environment, so we should be in good shape.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm getting this right. You're kind of saying that the poor performance of Valentine is basically down to bad luck and a poor macro environment?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay. So I have a really hard time kind of understanding that. That should essentially impact the entire industry and not just one single brand that we're offering. So I think this essentially comes down to our inability to provide a strong brand and our skill to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I think that we're facing a situation where we have a poor brand basically with Valentine. This is kind of cannibalizing on Chivas Regal and it's kind of impacting our ability to do focus and target marketing efforts. So I definitely think that we can do some work in kind of refining our product portfolio and potentially then cutting out Valentine and putting Chivas Regal in more kind of the front line.
It's a good idea because I mean we did I remember my department doing some research on that a couple of months ago and looking at and actually finding that if we would lower the price of Chivas a bit compared to Johnny Walker's price and then potentially, as Lewis mentioned, introducing a single malt at the same price, we could get Johnny Walker stuck in the middle and give us much more market power. So I think it's definitely a good idea.
I really like that. It's pretty good thinking actually, yeah. Just extending on that, you said you're introducing kind of single malt in the middle. Why don't you also take a single malt and kind of put it as an ultra prestige on the very top of the kind of product portfolio to really show the market that we have the best kind of high quality whiskey and really show that the perception of our brand should be kind of the best top brand.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute. If we're actually going to see the market be split into this premium and more cheaper whiskey segment, why don't we just take a completely different approach and go for that cheaper whiskey segment?
Yeah, that could really help push the sales as well. We could use another revenue source to strengthen our position here in Thailand.
Okay, so both paths are worth exploring. Just to go back to what we mentioned earlier, government regulation is actually providing us good incentives to create local partnerships.
Yeah.
So I had actually just met up a couple months ago with the CEO of Thai Bev.
Playing golf again.
You got me. You got me. Yeah, we were playing golf, but he would actually be open to a joint venture. So as we know, Thai Bev, solid company, local roots, and they're actually in the cheaper segment. So this could be useful for us. Do you mind just doing some more research on them?
Sure.
Well, guys, these are all actually good in-the-box ideas, but I think we need to set ourselves apart from the competition more, so go more out of the box. So, for example, let's team up with like a luxury car dealership or showrooms to promote that high-end luxury lifestyle, which fits well with our whiskey brand. And so, for example, when we sell a high-end car, we can put one of our finer whiskies in there for the customer to take away, and that should help us with our brand perception within Thailand.
I think it's a pretty solid concept. I'm just worried about kind of the tension or the clash you have between drinking and driving, but maybe you can...
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
fair
right.
enough. So let's apply the same concepts, for example, to yachts and cruises. So we'll be targeting the same market and it removes that pressure that you just mentioned.
I like that. It's really good.
That works better.
I mean, if our main goal is to build on the luxury lifestyle, we should perhaps bring in other aspects beyond cars and yachts. So our customer surveys actually show that chocolate goes quite well in hand with drinking whiskey. So partnering and licensing our own luxury whiskey chocolate could be a lucrative idea, further strengthening our market position.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really good. Now, what I was also thinking is that, remember Johnny Walker used to sponsor a couple of golf tournaments around the region, and with the Golf Championship in Thailand now coming up very soon, I was thinking that it might be a good idea for us to try to get on board there to really kind of push the premium image and maybe even combine it with the launch of the super premium mold if we decide to do that single mold.
Alright, good point. Okay, so these are good ideas. Partnering with yacht marinas and yacht sailors, doing whiskey chocolates, target sponsoring of golf events. These are good plans. As our external consultant, what do you make of this?
Yeah, so I think in terms of the idea to cut Valentine from the product portfolio, I'd imagine Diageo won't really respond to this, but I do think it's a good idea. Secondly, to reducing our price of our Chivas Regal range, I think that's a good idea. And they may respond by trying to reduce their Johnny Walker range prices, but this could affect their brand negatively, and they could end up shooting themselves in their own foot. I really like the idea to introduce our own single malt. And if they were to introduce their version, the fact that they sort of dominate the premium sort of market segments means that they could end up cannibalizing their own sales, which would be to our own benefit. And finally, to introduce our own ultra prestige single malt, I think that's a great idea in terms of changing the public perception of Pernod Ricard's products. So I guess we'll have to await the market reaction and then take action.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. All right, cool. So we've touched upon a lot of things this meeting. I think we're kind of tired, so I think it's ready for a coffee break.
Yeah.
But before then, let's just recap what we've done. So we started off talking about some of the key strategic challenges that we're facing. Particularly, we want to maintain our market share, and we have to also consider what's going on with the government, these regulations and taxes. So I guess what we've decided to act upon, or things we've decided to take strategic actions. The first one would be to remove Ballantine's from our product portfolio in Thailand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Okay. Good. The second one was to change our pricing strategy and then combine it with the new single malt in the super prestige market segment.
Yeah.
Sound good? All right. And then finally, it was to introduce an ultra prestige single malt whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't forget the out of the box ideas, kind of
Exactly.
sponsoring golf, marinas. I think we should look at them as well.
That's a good point. All right. Consider that as well. Brilliant. All right. Thank you guys for coming today. And thank you for coming to the board meeting as well. We appreciate it.